Hi, it's Ryan Lichtenfeld over at Delmar Mortgage, and I want to spend just a little bit of time talking about a loan that maybe you've heard about, maybe you haven't, or I shouldn't say a loan, it's really a program put out by the state of Illinois called IHDA. IHDA stands for Illinois Housing Development Authority, IHDA. In fact, if you'd like to know more information other than what I'm telling you here today about this loan, go to IHDA.org. So what IDA is and what that loan does is it helps home buyers, first-time home buyers or repeat buyers, get money to help with their down payment and closing costs. They can get up to, in some cases, it's $6,000. They actually have programs sometimes where it's $10,000, but most of the times it's about $6,000 that home buyers can get to help, like I said, with their down payment and closing costs. What I want to do real quickly is talk about the pros and the cons of this program. First of all, let's talk about the pros, and the main one being what I just said. You're getting $6,000 in most cases to help with down payment and closing costs. I do want to talk about the cons. Even though I'm going through the cons, and even though I'll probably spend a little bit more time on the negatives with this program, that doesn't mean it's a bad program. We do a ton of them here at Delmar Mortgage, and we enjoy doing every one of them and are very happy to help our clients get into this program. But there are some negatives that people need to be aware of. First of all, the first misnomer about these types of programs is that it's a grant, is that it's just money that's given to you and you never have to worry about it yet. But with IDA, really what happens is it's a second mortgage. It's a second loan that you open up that's secured by your home. So you have a first mortgage. That first mortgage could be FHA, VA, conventional, and that's the biggest portion, obviously. And then you have a second mortgage for that $6,000, okay? And here's why that's important. That's important because that loan eventually either has to be forgiven or paid off. And it's forgiven after you've lived in it for a number of years. Sometimes, and again, IDA has different programs, and I encourage you to go on IHDA.org to find out more. But sometimes you have to live in the house for 5 years before the loan is forgiven. Sometimes you have to live in the house for 10 years before the loan is forgiven. So that I would just want to get out of the way is that it's a loan. It's not a grant, okay? And here's how that comes into play for a couple of other things. If you want to refinance, that loan and whatever is left on that second mortgage has to be paid off. So that's one of the things that people get caught up with when they look at refinancing is, and they get an IDA loan, is that they have to pay that second mortgage off, which obviously makes the cost of any refinance that you might do in the future more expensive. The last thing I want to talk about, and the last negative I want to talk about the IDA loan, is that the interest rate on the first mortgage. Again, as I mentioned earlier, there's a first mortgage and there's a second mortgage. The interest rate on the first mortgage, which again can be an FHA, conventional, VA, USDA, is dictated to us by IDA. And most often, that interest rate that we give you on that first mortgage is higher than what we would give you on a mortgage if you didn't get IDA. Okay, so just to break it down here real quick, the positives are you get money to help with down payment and closing costs. The negatives are it makes refinancing in the future more expensive. It also could make the interest rate on that first mortgage more expensive. I want to reiterate one more time that this is not a bad option for everyone. It is for some people. It isn't for everyone, though. It's a good option that we do a lot of here at Delmar Mortgage, but I just wanted you to have all of the facts. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.